Hey everybody, welcome to Round the Twist, episode 261. It's August 17th, 2016, and it's been a better week. It's definitely a better day today, despite stresses of small children. Let's just say I hate taking them to the playground by myself without a second adult because they outnumber me. They can run in different directions, and then when you go to leave, you look like you are the worst person in the world when they both have meltdowns at the same time, so you're carrying one out under each arm with them kicking and screaming, and you're trying not to let them lose their shoes, and then wrestle them both into their car seats. And so this morning was a little stressful, because they didn't want to come up for lunch. It was awful. I'm so mean. But, okay, it's a knitting podcast, right? Right. So, what I have on my needles. Two things this week, because I still haven't gotten over the whole catastrophe that is the Playful Stripes shawl. I'll get to that in a minute. First up is the Jayne Cobb Hat, or Jayne Hat number 3, over if you're looking over my wrap page. The pattern is Jayne Cobb Hat by Heather Hill. I'm knitting it up in Cascade 220. Plain old Cascade 220, not the superwash, in 7824, that's the orange, and 7827 is the yellow, and then the red will be the ear flaps and in the big giant pom-pom on top. But I had just barely started the yellow last week. I knit on this a teeny bit yesterday morning. I'm like an inch into the yellow. Knitting up on a US 10.5 Chaigu needle. I'm still not crazy about the stiff cord, but it is what it is. I'm getting it done. I'm hopeful it'll be plenty big. So, plain stockinette. I don't know why. It's like I've hit that knitting ennui again, and it's just like, meh, I don't want to feel like pulling out my knitting. Even though it's the simplest knitting in the world, I'm just going around and around and around. Why can't I knit? I don't. And I'd really like to figure that out. I wish I knew. So that's living in the Loopy U bag that I actually got the yarn in. The second thing I have on my needles is my I'm a Rockstar socks, which these are out of a Gale's Art sock blank. The lovely Gale. And the colorway is Rockstar Rainbow. It's one of her single knit blanks, not one of the double knit ones. It is not one with sparkle, because I don't know why I don't like sparkle in socks. It feels crunchy on my feet. I've got an aversion to it. That's all. So this is the blank. It's very happy and shiny. It's got fun stars at both ends. So that will be coming in, and I had just barely started the ribbing. I had, like 6 rows of ribbing done last week, something like that. So I went and sat at the hairdresser last Thursday after my meltdown on Wednesday. Got my hair chopped, got it colored. I'm very happy it's back to being dark. I don't know why I didn't like it lighter. But I'm back to how it was about 4 years ago now. So I finished my ribbing. I was going for 20 rows. When I got home and counted, I actually had 21. But I wasn't going to tink one out, so meh. I'll be cursing the fact that I did 20 rows of ribbing at some future date, probably when I do the second one. But first sock it's coming. I'm into the leg a little bit. Obviously, I've transitioned into the orange. And yellow and orange are probably my 2 least favorite colors, but I'm okay with this for some reason. Probably because I know there's the pink and blue and purple is coming. So I'm like, just power through. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm going to do this as a 72 stitch vanilla sock with a heel flap. So I don't have to worry about going back in and doing the heel after the sock itself is done. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm knitting on a US 1. Did I say that? 2.25 millimeter needle. Can't remember. There you go. If I repeated myself, sorry. I love Gale's sock blanks. I really, really do. I think they're fun to knit. I thought I'd have more of an issue with the, I guess, kinkiness of the yarn, but I really don't, just because of how I tension my yarn when I'm knitting. And that's really all that I've knit on this week. So the Playful Stripes cardigan. Update. For some reason, I don't know why, I cannot find citric acid at my local, the local grocery store here is King Super. I didn't bother to go to Safeway across the street just because I'm lazy. But I figured, you know what, this is something I'm probably going to keep doing in the future, so I want to have it around. And citric acid, for the amount that I'm using, is dirt. I should say, the bigger... Phoebe, quit licking your foot. I can hear you. Yeah, you think just because you're behind the couch I can't hear you, but I can. No, you can't come up here. Go up over there. Come on. And there she goes, rocking on the table. Yeah. Fat dog. Anyway, citric acid, if you buy a little jar, bottle of it, whatever, at the grocery store, it's like $7 for, I don't know, not even for like 7 ounces. And that's ridiculous. When I went on Amazon and looked, they had a 1 pound bag for $7.99. So I will have a pound of citric acid, which will be plenty to set this sweater and any future yarn that I have bleeding issues with. That should be getting here Thursday, so tomorrow. I work Thursday and Friday, so I'll be able to heat set the yarn or set the dye on the yarn. Hopefully this weekend. I need to get it reskeined and then do the Knitmore Girls citric acid soak technique. Hopefully salvage the yarn, otherwise I'm going to be even more upset about that all that shenanigans. So I haven't even looked at my swatch to try to figure out the math just because I've been so pissed off about it. So I'm letting it go. It's fine until I treat the yarn, and then I'll rewind it and everything will be great. I hope. Really, really hope. So anyway, yeah. That's my knitting. That's it. Just those 2 things. This little itty bitty bit of knitting. I do have something for pokey things. I won't make you wait till the end of my needle like I make my family wait. Let's get it tucked back away. So the Once Upon a Time sampler by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery is coming along. I'm working on November, which is Little Red Riding Hood, and I've actually gotten a fair bit done. So last week I had finished the dark on the picnic basket, and I think I have like one of this little pigtail over here on Little Red Riding Hood's hair. Obviously, I finished her hair. I finished the blanket coming out of the picnic basket. It might be kind of hard to see, but I finished the pie crust sitting over here on this stand. That will be filled in with a different color to make, I think it looks like pumpkin pie. Because hello, it's November. What do you eat in November? Pumpkin pie. Thanksgiving, hello. I hate pumpkin pie, by the way, just FYI. The pie crust color is the same color as the walls of the house, so that got done. The dark gray did the path leading to Granny's, the part of the roof that isn't going to be snow covered, and I started on the wolf's head. And this bit down here is the arm. So I feel like I got a lot done. Like I filled in a lot that wasn't filled in before. And that's only 2 days worth of stitching. I've actually gotten quite a lot done. I'm kind of surprised. I haven't touched my Very Merry Christmas Town. So bad. I want to focus on this, and when this gets done, then I will move on to Christmas Town, and hopefully it will work. So, of course she doesn't stay up there. Oh, peach apricot coffee from San Marco this week. So, various and sundry, since that's my only pokey things. I haven't pinned out the dress pattern for Tara, so I haven't cut that out or done anything with it. When I do, you'll get an update. I'm very sorry, anyone who watches the show on iTunes. Last week's show, evidently I rambled enough and vented enough that I went like 36 minutes or something like that. I didn't feel like it was that long of a show. But it went over a certain amount of time that, and I don't know why. So the setup for the show, I record. I take the flip that I record on downstairs, plug it in my big desktop computer, transfer the file from the flip to the hard drive. From there, I run it through a program called Handbrake, which compresses it and also transforms the file into an MP4, which is the format that iTunes and YouTube all need. Once it's compressed, then I upload it to Podcast Garden, which then sends it to iTunes or to YouTube, which is what I use to, and then I'll take the YouTube embedding technique and embed it on the blog, step after step after step, multiple different places. If the file is not compressed enough, I believe it has to be under a gig, then Podcast Garden won't let me upload it. Won't even let me put it on the page. I tried, it wouldn't let me, so I went, okay, file's too big. I tried to run it through Handbrake again. For some reason, my computer, I don't know if my computer was freezing up or something was going on with Handbrake, it wouldn't compress the file a second time. I tried twice. Let it run for 24 to 36 hours both times. There was an update on my computer, so I've run that, I've restarted the computer. I'm going to try one more time to do a second compression to get it over to iTunes. If it's not there, iTunes watchers, I'm very, very sorry. I need to talk so much. That's all that needs to happen. It's only me and like a couple projects. I don't need to yammer on for more than half an hour. That's just ridiculous. So like I said, going to try one more time. And then I'm just going to say, episode 260 just won't be on iTunes. It's available via the blog. It's available via YouTube. So head over to those two places. And I'm very, very sorry that it's not up on iTunes. Any questions? Moving on. If you have anything you want to ask me, please feel free. Go over to the Ravelry board, leave a question, whatever, on the Any Questions thread, and I will get to it. I'm coming to the end of the thread. I kind of actually like this part of the show. It's making me expand outside of my normal areas, think outside the box. So please, questions, ask away. So we've got two this week. From KPAR62 is the first one. Hi there, was wondering how the stained glass Afghan is faring. I know you're really busy, so I wouldn't be surprised to hear it's stored away for now. Just curious is all. So this is one of my New Year's resolutions this year. All those little hexagons, and I think I have 200 or 300 of them. That I crocheted years ago, and I hadn't really worked out a way to join them together that I liked, but I knew I wanted the joining to be done in black. I decided to do them a different way. So all of those little hexagons are going to have to be ripped out and recrocheted. I have a pattern saved to my Ravelry library. It's called Juggling Hexes. And it actually, rather than just giving you the motifs and then, hey, sew it together, it actually has you join as you go. Kind of similar to how a mitered square sock yarn scrappy blanket would be. Which, that's the whole point. I mean, I'd probably have a lap blanket by now with 200-300 of these suckers. So, what I'm going to do, it does allow to change color within it. I'm going to try to get the center done in, like, undo one of the hexagons. Do the center, do the edging in black, move on to the next one, do the center, do the edging in black, joining as I go, and just keep going like that. I haven't had a chance. I haven't had the motivation to pull it out. Every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's going to be awful. But that's the plan at some future unbeknownst date. So, good question. The answer is the old hexagons are living in a bag from an old business in Omaha, an old yarn shop in Omaha that's no longer open, but it had a drawstring bag, so that's where they're living, down in my yarn room in the basement. You'll see it when I work on it, I promise. Fire Angel had a coffee question. You mentioned using refillable pods that you pre-grind for your coffee, I assume for single cup making rather than a pot. Could you show those and talk about that process? I want a Keurig for my office, but don't want to have all the plastic waste. Thanks. So that's my big thing with Keurigs. I don't like the single-use cups. I'll use them if I have to, if I'm desperate, like if my coffee order from San Marco hasn't arrived. But I use kind of the same process that I did back when I had Essentia, which uses pods rather than cups. I would use a 4-cup coffee filter. I forget, I found a way online, I think you used like a 1/4 cup measuring cup was the same size around inside as a Sensio pod, and I would use an old Tylenol ball that just happened to fit inside that to squish it down, kind of fan the edges out to make almost like a flower shape, put my coffee in where it is inside the 1/4 cup measuring cup, and then fold all the edges in and make my own little pot. So when I switched over to the Keurig, my mom got me this lovely thing. And there's all different varieties of this. Keurig actually put out a thing called My K-Cup. I had one. I don't care for it just because taking it in and out, you actually had to unscrew it, lift the filter out, which didn't have a lid, and it was also raging hot. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this. This is called a Solo Fill Cup -K3. It says microfoil filter on top. It's got this little filter stuff around the edges. The bottom is solid. Let me see if there's there is a website. Solofill.com, www.solofill.com. It is BPA free. This whole thing is recyclable, according to the little recycling symbol on the bottom. And so I just made my cup of coffee, so the grounds inside are still wet. But it has a little hinged lid. So obviously this isn't cleaned out. It's full of grounds. But I just put my scoop of coffee inside of it, close the lid, put it into my K-Cup, my Keurig, like this. It goes in like at an angle, grab my little sides, put it in. It has the little cutouts at the bottom. That's where the needle that's inside your Keurig would normally poke a hole into the bottom of the K-Cup. But then when I'm done, I whack it on my hand or I whack it on the counter to loosen up all the grounds in there. I go over to my trash can, I flip the lid, and I dump my grounds out. Done. Rinse it out in between using different flavors of coffee. I do, sometimes. I'm not great about washing my Keurig, so I'm not great about washing the cup out. Maybe once a month, if I remember, I'll run it through the dishwasher. It is dishwasher safe. Just stick it in the little silverware tray. And I love it, honestly. I think it's great. I tried, like I said, I tried the My K-Cup version, and that you actually have to take out the whole center housing where the K-Cups would slide into that has the needle. You take that whole thing out. This long thing slides back in. The top unscrews, like it's a screwed on twist top. And then there's a filter that looks like the bottom half of this, but there's no lid on top because the top twists on. So then right after you pop the whole thing open, they want you to unscrew this thing that steaming hot water has just run through. It's really hot to the touch, or maybe I'm just a wimp. Unscrew it. Try to get your fingernails underneath the edges of this thing, lift it out, and then take the steaming hot cup and dump it all out. Where I don't find this to be as hot, maybe because it's more plastic, but I really like this Solo Fill cup with the hinge lid on it. It works for me, and you don't have to disassemble your Keurig. So there you have it. Good questions, guys. Keep them coming so that I can keep answering them for you. Whatever you'd like to hear me talk about. I think that's it. I'm going to try to do a little bit of stitching while the kids are napping since they had meltdowns this morning. I'm really hoping they nap for a good long while. And I'm going to go watch some trashy TV. Maybe catch up on the Olympics a little, but then I'm going to head over and watch America's Next Top Model. I think I'm on season 6. 6 or 7. Something like that. I don't know why I'm rewatching it. I just am. So, hopefully your week goes well, and until next week, happy knitting.